There is a video trending on an eyewitness who is claiming that it was not true that Peter Obi offered any money to Deji Adeyanju. But why would Peter Obi not offer money to Deji Adeyanju? Why? It doesn't make sense. If Peter Obi did not offer any money to Deji Adeyanju, the Yoruba people say Openi ni Shola, Openi ni Shola. That means the person who sends for another person is the affluent person. So if you send for a person and honors your invitation, that means that he has respected you, he has taken time to come to you, and so appreciating the person. What is wrong with that? The dust that the Deji Adeyanju has raised. But in this case, I don't see how the Deji Adeyanju would have lied that Peter Obi offered him some money. Because to me, it makes absolute sense for Peter Obi to offer him money for honoring his invitation. Going by the Yoruba understanding of life, Openi ni Shola, the person who invites you is the affluent person. So, and the Deji Adeyanju cannot swear that he has never accepted money from any politician. Otherwise, he will have to tell us the source of his livelihood if he never accepted money from any politician. So, deny that Peter Obi offered money to Deji Adeyanju does not make any sense at all. After all, Deji Adeyanju has not said that Peter Obi expressly negotiated for his own political loyalty. It is Deji Adeyanju who imagined that that was what Peter Obi had in mind, but not that Peter Obi negotiated for his political loyalty and he turned it down. No. So let us be objective in whatever we are saying or doing. It makes absolute sense for Peter Obi to offer Deji Adeyanju some money for even honoring his invitation to come. And that is what Deji Adeyanju said, that Peter Obi said, for your coming. Yes. If Deji Adeyanju reads ulterior motive to the money, that's a different cup of tea. But Deji Adeyanju has not said he tried to negotiate my political loyalty to him and I refused. He said he refused the money, which Peter Obi said, for your coming. Yes, of course, it's normal. Why will a woman take money from a man for whom she will not comply? So I think that is the conscience exercised by Deji Adeyanju. So those who are trying to deny that Peter Obi offered him any money are not doing justice to Peter Obi, because it was normal for Peter Obi to offer cola to his visitor. If only because you invited somebody and he came. Peter Obi is a former governor, and a renowned businessman. So, what is a big deal if he offered money to Deji Adeyanju? And why should he not have offered money to Deji Adeyanju? Doesn't make sense for him not to say, thank you for coming. Whether Deji Adeyanju agreed to be his political loyalist or not, at least he came. And for coming, thank you. So I don't see anything wrong with that. What I find wrong is Deji Adeyanju saying he would rather vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu than Peter Obi. For what? Okay, you say Peter Obi is a religious bigot, and I agree with you. Personally, I agree with you. But is he more bigot? Is he more of a bigot, of a religious bigot, than Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is removing subsidy from basic necessities of life to be funding pilgrimages for privileged Christians and Muslims? You see, Peter Obi worse than that? Can anything actually be worse than that? Than you remove subsidies from fuel and other basic necessities of life to be subsidizing pilgrimages for privileged Christians and Muslims? Or even if you say, okay, nobody has denied that Peter Obi invested Anambra State funds in his family business. Okay. And then the people of Anambra knew where their money is. But Nigerians are not told where fuel subsidy has gone and where other subsidies are going, when workers are paid less than living wage, and Tinubu is claiming to transfer funds to anonymous indigent households, and sinking Nigeria in debt. So how is Peter Obi not better than Bola Ahmed Tinubu? And as I say, no, there is no saint in this world. You make your leader what you want him to be. So we need to, all these things, negative things that are being said about Peter Obi, some of them are not negative but turned into negative. Fine. But I'm saying let us assume that it's not assumption. I don't like the political sentimentalism of Peter Obi at all. But as I said, what percentage of Nigeria is not religiously sentimental? Look at what the most shameful thing that Tinubu is doing, subsidizing, running, funding pilgrimage boards and subsidizing pilgrimages. And it has been the practice since Shehu Shagari became Nigeria's president in 1979. You see it? And before then, Muslims and Christians have always been politicizing their religion and imposing, with particular reference to the Fulani Muslim imperialists who think that Islam is impossible unless you impose it on a nation. So that means that we should set our constitution ablaze. So I don't see Peter Obi to be incorrigible, but he has to be corrected. And you are not correcting Bola Ahmed Tinubu, yet you say you prefer him to, so you prefer that Bola Ahmed Tinubu should continue to deceive Nigerians in line with the so-called All Progressives Congress, retrogressing Nigeria since 2015 to date, and that it should continue in the worst of them, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Sustaining war against Boko Haram Muslim community, sustaining S-men terrorism, and declaring all subsidies gone except funding of pilgrimage boards and subsidizing pilgrimages for privileged Christians and Muslims. So we need to, I don't see alternative to Peter Obi, by the way. He's the only person who represents North, South, and zonal justice. And Nigeria cannot be built on injustice and the confusion of throwing open the presidential ticket and all of this garbage. So it's really regrettable that Deji Adeyanju said he would rather vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to continue the retrogression of 2015 than Peter Obi. So maybe it's for lack of understanding on the part of Deji Adeyanju. We want more of Peter Obi's shortcomings so that we can panel beat him to what we want. And that, as I say, that is what you can do. There's no saint that you will go and pluck from somewhere. Because as I keep saying, three things are of utmost temptation to human beings: power, money, sex. And so you have to put the rightful checks and balances in place when it comes to issue of power, money, and sex. So you cannot just throw the door open and say there are some saints somewhere who cannot fall into temptation. No, it's not. It's not. That is just it. Nigerians are too many Nigerians are too religious for the leader not to play religious politics. And that is why Nigerians must be wary of Islamism, Christianism that has eaten too much into their fabric, that is destabilizing their life without their being conscious of what Islam and Christianity is doing to them in church, mosque, and society, wrecking them, imposing on them a ravaging war, and on the basis of which herdsmen terrorism is being sustained and tolerated. So that is it. Peter Obi represents really north, south, and zonal justice, and so must be supported. His areas of weaknesses must be pointed to him, and he must be pursued to do justice. That is all I can say, but not that Tinubu should continue. Since 2015 to 2025, and things getting worse than getting better. Let Nigerians rally around Peter Obi. Yes, no man is without shortcomings, but the areas of shortcomings must be addressed. We have to stand on that.